This is 2b2t, the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft. A server with no rules, no resets to the world, and absolutely no mercy to any player who dares to join. For almost 15 years, it's been a home to chaos, deception, and betrayal. Among the endless backstabbing and wars throughout the years, one betrayal stands out as the most devastating, most genius, and most legendary of all. This is the story of how a group of programmers called Nerds Incorporated exploited the server's deepest secrets, betrayed everyone including their allies, and nearly brought 2b2t to its knees. This is the Backdoor Betrayal, the biggest betrayal in 2b2t history. To fully understand the scale of this betrayal, let me explain what 2b2t really is. Founded in December of 2010, 2b2t, short for 2 Builders, 2 Tools, is the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft. It has no rules and no moderators, which of course means that hacking is allowed. If you build a base, no matter how safe you think it is, it will one day be destroyed. From the spawn region all the way out to the world border, bases have been found and blown up. I've built several bases since I joined 2b2t, from the spawn region all the way out to 1,000,000 blocks, and each one suffers the same fate as the last. But every single block placed or destroyed is permanent, and the permanence of the server has created a culture unlike any other Minecraft server. From the lava-casted ruins of spawn to the mega bases built in secret millions of blocks out, everything that happens eventually becomes a part of the long, violent history. While some players build, explore, or fight endlessly, others form secret groups. Some groups rise to fame on the server, and others only become a myth. But one of these groups, Nerds Incorporated, would change everything. Nerds Incorporated was never a traditional faction like 4chan or the Veteran Army that were once known for their PvP dominance or flashy bases. They were technical players, coders, exploiters, and masterminds of Minecraft's most complicated mechanics. Their power didn't come from the vast numbers of the group or brute force. It came from knowledge and the patience to wait for the perfect moment. They remained in the shadows, gathering data, exploiting glitches, and monitoring activity on the server. For years, they managed to map the server in complete silence, developing tools that would one day help them locate players, trace coordinates, and even manipulate in-game mechanics. While other groups on the server waged war above the ground, Nerds Incorporated was building an empire that would soon be far more dangerous than anyone on 2b2t could even imagine. In the late 2010s, Nerds Incorporated uncovered or potentially engineered the most powerful exploit in the history of the server: a server backdoor, a method of accessing administrative level privileges on the server without being an actual admin or the owner. This meant that the group, whether by manipulating a plugin, gaining access to admin tools, or by using some kind of insider knowledge, they now had achieved what most believed to be impossible: full control over the server's backend. This meant they could teleport, spawn in illegal items, monitor private messages, read coordinates, and observe everyone on the server in real time. But they weren't stupid, which made them even more dangerous. Rather than flaunt their power on the server, they kept it hidden, waiting for the perfect time to strike. The backdoor was their ace in the hole, and they would use it to not only destroy a couple bases, but to manipulate the very fabric of the 2b2t community. With the backdoor secured, Nerds Incorporated began their elaborate infiltration campaign. Their plan had a long-term vision though, and they didn't grief any bases, but rather joined them. They literally embedded themselves within the most powerful groups on the server: the Fourth Reich, Emperium, and many other hidden coalitions. They earned the trust of the players on the server. They became leaders, and they contributed to the overall builds of these bases. However, the whole time they were logging coordinates, copying map data, and preparing for mass destruction. It was the ultimate long con, and the biggest target of all was the Autumn base. This base was a hidden gem on the server and was a multi-group collaboration of elite builders and trusted veterans within the server. The Autumn Dream was more than just a base. It was a statement, built by a group of seasoned players from factions like Emperium and the Peacekeepers. The base embraced a natural, seasonal theme: warm tones, giant trees, falling leaves, and rivers of gold-red hues. Featuring some of the best builders on the server, including Channy, Katsu. These weren't just players, they were artists and curators of peace in a server defined by destruction. They built without any fear, but but always with caution on the most dangerous server in Minecraft. The coordinates of the base were closely guarded, the members were handpicked, and nothing was ever typed in chat, because they knew, as many who came before them, beauty is a beacon, and beacons get bombed every day on 2B2T. After further development of this base, as well as many other bases, Nerds Incorporated knew it would soon be time to strike. Nerds Incorporated finally made their move. They all logged in and began teleporting to dozens of secret bases. They used the admin level abilities to grief with precision, and the Autumn base was soon reduced to rubble. Vaults of all of these groups were absolutely obliterated, deleting millions of items or stealing them for themselves. Chests that were once filled with god apples and insanely overpowered armor were once reduced to nothing but lava. By the time they had finished destroying all the bases, it was too late. The server went into complete shock. How was it possible that all of these bases from these different major groups were destroyed in a single night? Players began accusing each other. Some believed that it had to be an inside job, and they were 100% right. The very people trusted to protect the base were the ones who planned its downfall from the very beginning. This wasn't just normal griefing on 2B2T. This was a calculated act of psychological warfare. Because there were so many base coordinates they had exploited, they ended up releasing tons of them publicly, knowing that other players on the server would do the dirty work for them. Everything went just as they had planned, and soon the server was in complete chaos. The betrayal sent shockwaves throughout the community. Many veterans quit and groups disbanded. The entire social structure of 2B2T was shaken. Nerds Incorporated soon released a video titled The Backdoor, a terrifying documentation of their plan, execution, and destruction. It was partly a confession, partly a taunt to the server. A reminder that while other players on the server played Minecraft, they had been rewriting the rules all along. The incident raised some questions that nobody on the server could answer. It still didn't make any sense how this was even possible. Had the server owner, Housemaster, allowed this to happen? Could it happen again? Was the server truly even anarchy if some players were above the rest due to the knowledge they had? With more questions than answers, what was the point of starting a new base if it could just be destroyed in one night? Many years have passed now, and the backdoor betrayal remains the most infamous event in 2B2T history. It redefined what betrayal meant on the server, not just breaking the trust of the players around you, but weaponizing it. Some called Nerds Incorporated the villains of the server, others hail them as visionaries to this day, but everyone definitely agrees that they managed to change 2B2T forever. While the remains of the Autumn base still exist today, they symbolize a scar, a symbol, and a warning that no matter how careful you are on 2B2T, eventually you will become only a part of the long history on the oldest server in Minecraft. On 2B2T, nothing is sacred, no alliance is permanent, and no base is truly safe forever. In a world with no rules, power belongs to the players who dare to take it, and more importantly, those who know how to use it.